Jin Park stood at the window of the transport ship and watched the stars blur past. He had trained for 5 years for this moment. He was the first human to visit the Galactic Coalition headquarters. His heart beat fast in his chest. The ship would dock soon, and he would meet aliens from all over the galaxy face to face. "Are you ready, Ambassador Park?" asked Captain Lee. She had piloted the ship from Earth to this far corner of space. "As ready as I can be," Jin said. He smoothed his blue uniform one more time and checked his translator device. The small silver pin on his collar would help him talk to the aliens. Earth had only learned about the Coalition 3 years ago, when their ships first appeared near Mars. Since then, all talks had been through video calls. The ship slowed, and Jin felt the slight bump as they docked. The door hissed open. Jin took a deep breath and stepped through. The docking bay was huge. Beings of all shapes and colors moved around. Some had 6 legs, others floated in the air. Jin tried not to stare, but it was hard. A tall, thin alien with blue skin and 4 arms waited for him. "Welcome, human ambassador," the blue alien said. Its voice came through Jin's translator with a slight buzz. "I am Kerr, your guide. The council waits for you." Jin bowed slightly. "Thank you for meeting me. I am honored to represent Earth." Kerr led Jin through wide halls. The walls glowed with soft light. Other aliens moved aside to let them pass. Some looked at Jin with what he thought might be curiosity. Others seemed to avoid looking at him at all. "The Coalition has 27 member species," Kerr explained. "Humans will be the 28th if today goes well." Jin nodded. "We hope to join and learn from you all." They reached a large round room. Seats rose in circles around a central platform. Many aliens sat waiting. Jin counted at least 15 different types of beings. "You will meet each ambassador," Kerr said. "Then you will speak to the council about why Earth should join us." Jin felt nervous but tried not to show it. He followed Kerr to the first ambassador, a round being covered in soft fur. "This is Ambassador Tull of the Mare," Kerr said. Jin bowed. "I bring greetings from Earth." Tull made a soft purring sound and bowed back. They moved to the next ambassador, and the next. Jin tried to remember all their names and species. Some had names he could not pronounce, but he tried his best. The 10th ambassador was tall with greenish skin and large eyes. "This is Ambassador Vorn of the Xari," Kerr said. Jin looked up at the tall alien. "I bring greetings from Earth," he said with a warm smile. The room suddenly went silent. Vorn stepped back, and a low hiss came from its throat. Other ambassadors stood up. Some made warning sounds. Jin froze. His smile faded. "What's wrong?" he whispered to Kerr. Kerr's blue skin had turned pale. "You showed your teeth," Kerr said quietly. "To most species in the Coalition, showing teeth is a threat. It means you want to attack or eat them." Jin's face fell. "I didn't know. On Earth, a smile is friendly." The council leader, a tall being with silvery skin, stepped forward. "What is the meaning of this human threat display?" the leader demanded. Jin stepped onto the central platform. His hands shook slightly. "Honored Council, I have made a mistake. On Earth, showing teeth in what we call a smile is a sign of friendship and happiness. It is how we greet friends. I did not mean to threaten anyone." The aliens whispered among themselves. Jin could feel sweat on his forehead. "Is this true?" the council leader asked. "Your species bears teeth to show friendship." "Yes," Jin said. "Different human cultures have different greetings, but smiling is universal among my people. It means I am happy to meet you." The small alien with purple fur stepped forward. "Fascinating. Humans use threat displays as social bonding. I have never heard of such a thing." Jin tried to look friendly without smiling. "We have many expressions that use our faces to show how we feel. Smiling is just one of them." The council leader looked at Jin closely. "Show us this smile again, but explain first so no one will be afraid." Jin nodded. I am going to show my teeth now, but it is not a threat. It is how humans show we are happy." He smiled, trying to make it look as gentle as possible. Several aliens gasped. Some leaned forward to see better. "Remarkable," said the purple alien. "Your face muscles are very flexible." Jin relaxed a little. "Yes, humans have many facial expressions. We use them along with words to communicate." The council leader made a sound like a bell ringing. "We have much to learn about each other. Human ambassador, we will continue the introductions, but please refrain from smiling until all species have been warned about this custom." Jin bowed. "Of course. I apologize for the misunderstanding." As Jin continued to meet the ambassadors, he was careful not to smile. But he noticed something interesting. A group of slender aliens with shimmering skin watched him with great interest. Unlike the others, they didn't seem afraid of his earlier smile. One of them, a female with patterns of light moving across her skin, even tried to copy the movement of his lips. Kerr noticed Jin looking at them. "Those are the Lumidians," Kerr explained quietly. "They communicate through light patterns on their skin. They find your face movements very interesting." Jin nodded. He would need to learn all these new customs if Earth was to join the coalition. Who would have thought that something as simple as a smile could cause so much trouble? But as he glanced again at the curious Lumidian female, he wondered if some aliens might understand humans better than others. The first day of Earth's introduction to the galaxy had only just begun. 3 days after the smiling incident, Jin sat in his small quarters at the coalition headquarters. He studied a tablet filled with alien customs. There were so many rules to learn. "Showing the palms of your hands to a mare is an insult," he read aloud. "Never look directly at Xari's third eye. Do not stand taller than a Voldan elder." Someone knocked on his door. Jin looked up. "Come in," he called. The door slid open, and Kier entered. With the blue alien was a slender being with shimmering skin. Jin recognized her as one of the Lumidians who had watched him during the council meeting. "Ambassador Park, this is Mina of the Lumidians," Kerr said. "The council has assigned her to help you understand our cultures better." Jin stood and placed his hands at his sides, careful not to show his palms. He also made sure not to smile. "I am pleased to meet you, Mina." The Lumidian's skin rippled with soft blue and green colors. "The pleasure is mine, human Jin," she said. Her voice was musical. "I have been studying humans since your kind was discovered. Mina will help create a guide to human expressions," Kira explained. "The council thinks it will help prevent more incidents." Jin nodded. "That's a good idea. I never realized how unique human faces are." After Kerr left, Jin and Mina sat at a small table. Mina placed a recording device between them. "Can you show me this smile again?" Mina asked. "I will warn you that I am not afraid of it." Jin smiled, showing his teeth slightly. Mina's skin flashed with bright yellow patterns. "Fascinating. And this means you are happy?" "Yes," Jin said. "Or friendly, or amused. It can mean many things, but all of them are positive. My people communicate through light and color," Mina explained. She made her skin glow with soft blue waves. "This is how we show pleasure in meeting someone." For the next few hours, Jin showed Mina different human expressions. He frowned, raised his eyebrows, winked, and made many other faces. Mina recorded each one and explained what similar emotions looked like for Lumidians. "Your face is so flexible," Mina said with wonder. "Most species in the coalition have rigid faces." "I never thought about it before," Jin admitted. "Humans rely on facial expressions a lot. We even have trouble understanding each other without seeing faces." Over the next week, Jin and Mina created a guidebook of human expressions. They sent it to all coalition species to prevent misunderstandings. One evening, Jin received an invitation to a formal dinner with representatives from all coalition species. The message said the dinner would celebrate Earth's introduction to the galactic community. Jin dressed carefully in his formal uniform. He practiced greeting each species without making offensive gestures. When he arrived at the grand dining hall, he was relieved to see Mina waiting for him. Jin nodded. They can mimic our faces perfectly. Their muscles are surprisingly similar to ours. But not everyone in the coalition is happy about it, Sun added. She handed Jin a report. 3 species have filed formal complaints. They say human influence is spreading too quickly. Jin read the report with concern. The Xari, the Voltan, and the Mare, 3 of the oldest species in the coalition, claimed the humans were disrupting the natural cultural balance of the galaxy. They're afraid, Jin said. Change is happening faster than they expected. That evening, Jin attended a coalition cultural exchange. Representatives from many worlds showed art, music, and customs from their planets. The human section displayed paintings, played music, and offered small samples of Earth food. As Jin watched the crowd, he noticed something interesting. Young aliens from many species gathered around the human exhibits. They seemed fascinated by Earth's culture. But older aliens stayed away, watching from a distance with what seemed like disapproval. Ambassador Park, a deep voice said behind him. Jin turned to see Vorn, that Xari ambassador who had been frightened by Jin's smile during their first meeting. Ambassador Vorn, Jin said, carefully keeping his expression neutral. I'm glad you came to the exchange. I have concerns, human, Vorn said. The tall alien skin looked greener than usual, which Jin had learned indicated stress. Your influence on the Lumidians goes too far. I don't understand, Jin replied. We're just sharing our cultures. Vorn's large eyes narrowed. The Lumidians are changing. They act more human every day. This is not natural. Before Jin could answer, a group of young Lumidians entered the room. Jin immediately noticed something different about them. Not only were they smiling, but they wore colorful clothes similar to human styles. Some had even changed their hair like tendrils to look more like human hairstyles. You see, Vorn said, this is what I mean. They are becoming less Lumidian and more human. The young Lumidians moved through the room, drawing attention from everyone. One of them, a female with bright patterns flowing across her skin, approached Jin. Ambassador Park, she said with a wide smile. I'm Ja, one of Mina's students. We love learning human expressions. Jin nodded politely, aware that Vorn was watching closely. It's nice to meet you, Ja. Your smile looks very natural. Jia's skin flashed with happy colors. Thank you. I practice all the time. Did you see our new video channel? It's called So That's What She Looks Like on Alien Girls. We show how to use human expressions and styles. Jin had not heard about this. A video channel. Yes, it's very popular, not just with Lumidians, but with young people from many species. Jia pointed to a small group of young aliens from different worlds. They can't smile like us, but they're learning other human customs. Vorn made a low hissing sound and walked away. Jin could tell the Xari ambassador was not happy. Later that night, Jin found the video channel Jia had mentioned. He watched with surprise as young Lumidians demonstrated human expressions, wore Earth-inspired clothes, and even tried human dances. The videos had millions of views from across the coalition. This is happening faster than I thought, Jin said to Mina, who was watching with him. Mina nodded. Her skin showed patterns of both excitement and worry. The older generations think we're losing our culture, but we're not. We're adding to it. She smiled, a perfect human smile. I smile when I'm happy now. I don't even think about it. It feels natural. That's what worries the council, Jin said. They're afraid humans will change everything too quickly. The next morning, Jin was called to an emergency meeting with the Coalition High Council. When he arrived, he found representatives from all 27 species waiting. Their faces, or what passed for faces among the different aliens, looked serious. The council leader spoke first. Ambassador Park, we have a situation. The cultural exchange between humans and Lumidians has grown beyond acceptable limits. What do you mean? Jin asked. A screen appeared, showing images of Lumidian cities. Jin was shocked to see that many Lumidians now smiled openly. Young ones wore clothes with human designs. Some public buildings even had human-style decorations. This happened in just 1 month, the council leader said. The Lumidian culture is changing too rapidly. Other young species are beginning to follow. The coalition requires cultural stability. Jin looked around the room. The older species seemed angry or worried, but he noticed that representatives from newer coalition members looked interested rather than concerned. Cultural exchange goes both ways, Jin said carefully. Humans are learning from the coalition too. But no human has changed their appearance to look more alien, a Xari representative said. The influence flows only one way, from Earth outward. As the debate continued, Jin realized something important. The smile, a simple human expression, had become more than just a gesture. It had become a symbol of change in the galaxy. And change, even in the form of a smile, could be very frightening to those who wanted things to stay the same. Jin stood before the Coalition's Supreme Council chamber doors. His stomach felt tight. 6 months had passed since humans joined the Coalition, and now everything was falling apart. Behind those doors, 27 alien species were voting on whether to remove Earth from the galactic community. "Are you ready?" asked Mina. Her skin flickered with worried purple patterns, but her face showed a calm, reassuring smile. After months of practice, Lumidian facial expressions looked completely natural. "As ready as I can be," Jin replied. "How bad is it?" 12 species have formally demanded humans be restricted from cultural exchange, Mina said. "They say we're a danger to galactic stability." The grand doors opened. Jin took a deep breath and walked into the chamber. Hundreds of aliens from across the galaxy filled the circular room. Jin could feel their eyes on him as he moved to the center platform. The council leader, a tall Xari named Vorn, spoke first. "Ambassador Park, you have been called to answer serious charges against Earth. The evidence will now be presented." A large screen appeared above the chamber. It showed images from across the Coalition. Jin watched as scenes played showing young Lumidians, not just smiling, but laughing, frowning, and showing many human expressions. They wore clothes inspired by Earth styles. Some even used human gestures. "This cultural contamination has spread beyond the Lumidians," Vorn continued. The screen showed young aliens from other species adopting human customs. A young mare tried to smile, though its rigid face could barely move. A group of Volden youth copied human dance moves. "Most concerning is this," Vorn said. The screen changed to show the most popular video channel in Coalition space. "So that's what she looks like on Alien Girls." The channel now had billions of viewers. The main host appeared on screen. Jin recognized Jia, the young Lumidian he had met months ago. She smiled brightly at the camera. "Today we're learning about human laughter," Jia said in the video. "Humans make this sound when they're happy or find something funny. Let's try it together." The video showed hundreds of Lumidians practicing laughing. Many other young aliens watched and tried to copy them. Vorn turned off the screen. "In just 6 months, humans have caused more cultural disruption than most species do in a century. We propose that all human-alien cultural exchange be suspended immediately." Murmurs filled the chamber. Jin looked around. The older coalition members nodded in agreement with Vorn, but many younger species looked concerned. "Ambassador Park, how do you respond?" asked Vorn. Jin stepped forward. "Respected Council, I understand your concerns. Change can be frightening. But I believe something wonderful is happening, not something dangerous." "Wonderful." A mayor representative rose from her seat. "Our young people no longer follow our traditions. They want to act like humans." Jin shook his head. "They're not replacing their cultures, they're adding to them. Isn't that what the Coalition is about? Learning from each other. There is a natural pace to cultural exchange," Vorn said. Humans are moving too quickly. The chamber doors suddenly opened. A group of Lumidians entered, led by Sora, the High Speaker. With her was Sun, Jin's human cultural officer. The council recognizes High Speaker Sora of Lumidia. Vorn said, clearly unhappy about the interruption. Sora walked to stand beside Jin. Her face showed a serious expression, and her skin glowed with formal patterns. The Lumidian people request to speak on this matter. Sora said, we have important research to share. Vorn hesitated, then nodded. Proceed. Sun stepped forward with a data tablet. My team has been studying why Lumidians adopted human expressions so quickly. We found something remarkable. She activated a hologram showing two brain scans side by side. This is a human brain, she said, pointing to one image. And this is a Lumidian brain. Despite evolving on different planets, their emotional centers are almost identical. Murmurs filled the room again. Sun continued, Lumidians have always felt emotions the same way humans do. They just express them differently, through skin patterns instead of facial movements. Sora nodded. When we discovered human smiles, it felt natural, because our brains were already wired for these expressions. We didn't lose our culture. We found a missing piece of it. A Tsari scientist stood up. This cannot be possible. Different species develop differently. Yet the evidence is clear, Sun replied. And we found similar patterns in other species too. The emotional centers of most intelligent beings share common features. We just express those emotions in different ways. Jin watched the council members talking among themselves. This new information seemed to surprise many of them. Suddenly, Jiao rushed into the chamber with several other young aliens from different species. Guards moved to stop them, but Vorn held up his hand. Let them speak, he said. The council will hear all sides. Jia stepped forward. Her face showed determination, and her skin glowed with bright, confident colors. I am the creator of So That's What She Looks Like on Alien Girls. We are not trying to become human. We are finding new ways to be ourselves. A young mare stepped beside her. Though his face couldn't smile, he wore a small pin with a smile symbol on it. My species cannot make human expressions, but we can understand what they mean. This helps us connect with others in the coalition. One by one, young aliens from different worlds spoke about how learning human expressions helped them communicate better with other species. They weren't abandoning their cultures. They were building bridges between them. Vorn listened quietly. When the young aliens finished, he turned to the council. We must consider all we have heard today. This situation is more complex than it first appeared. Jin looked at the divided council. Some members still seemed angry or afraid. Others looked thoughtful. The vote could go either way. The council will deliberate, Vorn announced. Ambassador Park, prepare your final statement for tomorrow's session. The future of Earth and the coalition will be decided then. As Jin left the chamber with Mina, Sun, and their allies, he felt both worried and hopeful. Do you think we changed any minds? He asked. Some, Mina said. Her smile was small but genuine. But tomorrow will be the real test. You must convince them that human expressions aren't a threat, but a gift. Jin nodded. The entire human race was counting on him. Somehow he needed to make the council understand that a simple smile could bring species together, not pull them apart. The Grand Council chamber was silent as Jin walked to the center platform. Today, everything would be decided. Jin had spent the whole night preparing his speech. He knew the future of Earth and the coalition depended on what he said now. The 27 alien council members watched him. Some looked angry, others curious. Jin took a deep breath and began to speak. Honored Council, when humans first joined the coalition, I made a mistake. I smiled at Ambassador Vorn without knowing it would frighten him. That day, I learned how different we all are. Jin paused and looked around the room. But in the months since then, I've learned something even more important. Under our different skins, scales, and features, we share something deep and true. We all feel joy, fear, sadness, and hope. We just show it differently. Jin pressed a button on his wrist device. A large image appeared showing children from Earth. They were laughing and playing. On Earth, human children learn to smile before they learn to talk. It's so natural to us that we never think about it. The image changed to show young Lumidians, their faces bright with smiles, their skin glowing with happy colors. When Lumidians discovered smiling, it wasn't cultural contamination. It was recognition. Their bodies could already make these movements. They just never had a reason to try. The vote was quick and clear. 25 of the 27 species voted to keep Earth in the coalition and to create the new office. Only 2 species voted against it, and even they agreed to respect the Council's decision. 1 week later, Jin stood in the new Emotional Translation Office. With him were Mina, Ja, Old Dak the Xari, and representatives from 15 other species. On the wall hung a simple sign with words in many languages. In Earth's English, it read, "Many expressions, one understanding." "Where do we begin?" asked Mina, her smile warm and natural. Jin looked around at the diverse group. Some could smile, some could not, but all could understand what a smile meant. "We begin by learning each other's languages," Jin said. "Not just the words we speak, but the ways we show how we feel." As they started their work, Jin thought about how far they had come. A simple human smile had nearly caused a galactic incident. Now, it was helping build bridges between worlds. On the wall screen, Jin could see the latest episode of So That's What She Looks Like on Alien Girls. The show had a new name now. So That's How They Feel Across the Stars. It showed beings from all worlds learning to understand each other's emotional expressions. The smile phenomenon had become the understanding phenomenon, and the galaxy would never be the same.